Hi, it's Lucy Cheatham from Bathurst campus, student number 11574631. This is my assessment 2 for EPT127. What makes an effective literacy classroom? Conditions for an effective literacy classroom should include a literacy-rich environment with materials for drawing, writing, reading, and in this day and age, technology. An important factor to remember in this component is giving students options and variety on what to do. Choice is important in providing an effective learning environment. Following on from this idea, an effective literacy classroom should have a wide variety of texts for use by students, including multimodal texts and digital texts. The classroom teacher should also remember that these texts should be authentic. Learning habits must always be modelled in order for students to respond in a positive manner. The way a teacher reads in front of the class, for example, could have an impact on how the students believe books should be read out loud. The teacher should use expressive, animated and receptive language whilst demonstrating oral literacy. This is an example of peer modelling and the concept of group learning. Peer communication and learning is an important component of effective classrooms. Children bouncing ideas off one another help students to learn from each other. This also improves communication, teamwork, as well as patience. This idea promotes text participation, as students may help each other to come up with different ideas for writing and storytelling. Reading groups are an excellent way for students to collaborate ideas and learn whilst cooperating with their peers. Communication is a vital skill needed by students, and a way for students to communicate with others may be news time, where they share information with their classmates in a way that is controlled by the students whose turn it is to tell their news. Appropriate levels of learning materials should be used in order to provide an effective literacy environment for students. Books should be age appropriate, have the correct literacy level for the students, and in K-2 levels, the book should have pictures in order for the students to cross-reference the text with the pictures and create meaning and understanding or semantics. The text used should also be authentic. Teaching a wide array of subjects is not only a requirement of the curriculum, but it is an important aspect of providing an engaging and effective literacy classroom. Lesson planning and organisation will help to achieve an effective learning environment. Integrating technology into the classroom alongside with the requirements of teaching is important, as it provides an insight and introduction to technology and its roles in today's society to the students. The concept of integrating technology into the classroom can be expanded to include activities on computers for students, such as Jolly Phonics, which is for enhancing a student's understanding and developing phonemic awareness. The use of multimodal and digital texts can aid the teacher in providing a stimulating and effective learning environment. A multimodal text is defined by Seeley, Flint, Kitson, Low and Shaw as texts that use a range of semiotic systems to create meaning. The use of multimodal texts ensure that students recognise that texts are to be used in everyday life, and this enhances the importance of learning the skills of literacy. Students should have the opportunity to both read and create multimodal texts. Here are some examples of multimodal texts. Having a fair and consistent method of assessing progress is vital in the classroom. The point of school is to learn. And to make sure that this is occurring, the teacher must assess the level of literacy levels in the classroom. Fair and adequate assessing must occur for the students to see where they are up to. Reading and writing conferences between teacher and students should occur in order for the teacher to understand his or her students' literacy needs. This is an important element in not only creating an effective literacy classroom, but also for effective teaching to take place. This is another opportunity for the teacher to model their behaviour and set examples of what is expected, not only in the classroom, but also in society. Young literacy learners must be assessed on their speaking, listening, writing, viewing and creating skills. So how do children learn to be literate? Through immersion of literacy and language. Children learn to write by repetition and example. Children at the K-2 level usually write down their stories that they imagine up. They may draw pictures to help, but often their writing comes from this stage. Emergent writing is an important step in learning to write. Reading is taught in two ways. The first is learning to read. The standard procedure of this is to go through the basics of learning the alphabet, the sounds that those letters make, what letters go together to spell words, then learning to read sentences, paragraphs, pages, and books. The second way is reading to learn, where the semantics come in. That is, when children understand the text that they are reading and recognise that they are not simply words on a page. Cairnborn's conditions for oral language development states that children learn by immersion, demonstration, use of words, feedback on how they are speaking and correction if they are incorrect, approximation, which is guessing what a word says or what it means, expectation, based on the assumption that children learn to talk, therefore they do, and engagement, using their newfound use of oral language in their environment. Children learn by example, and this helps us to understand the concept of young literacy learners as viewers. Children see how oral language and written language are used by their parents, elder siblings, and in a classroom setting, teachers, as well as everyone else they come into contact with. Their conception of the importance of literacy may be altered depending on the value that is placed on literacy in their home environment. Children are creators, and their creativity skills give them invaluable ways of enhancing their literacy abilities. As I stated before, as children learn to read and write, pictures are a great source of cross-referencing for creating meaning in the text. Children create their stories in their mind that are original and priceless in their ability to learn. Creativity in a child's mind is so innocent and is absolutely vital in the development of learning literacy.